Hello, welcome everybody to Psychology 101 General Psychology. My name is Joshua Buchanan and I will be your professor for this quarter. Because this is an online course, I'm going to be doing my best to create some videos so that way we have a little bit more face-to-face conversation, virtual face-to-face conversation, rather than just communicating through Canvas or through writing assignments, etc. So hopefully you enjoy these videos. I want to give you a little bit of information about myself before we get started. I am a social psychologist by trade, doing general psychology here, and we'll talk a little bit in a little bit more detail about social psychology later on in the quarter. But I am a social psychologist. Most of the research that I conduct is on emotions or decision making. So for example, I do a lot of research on the emotion of regret and how that can be both a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you utilize regret. I've also conducted research on how we publicly express emotions. So, for example, we might publicly express regrets, not necessarily to communicate information to other people, but to instead try to get closer, form social bonds with others. And I've also conducted some research on tacit coordination. How do we coordinate and work with other people without direct communication? Humans tend to be actually surprisingly pretty good at this, being able to communicate without actually being able to directly communicate with others. On a personal level, a few things about me. I am Australian, half American. I know there's not much of an accent there, but when I start to talk about Australia, or I talk to my dad, who's Australian, the accent comes out. I'm from Oklahoma. I was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm a rabid Oklahoma City Thunder fan. I've got the little Oklahoma City Thunder tag back there. I know that's not always a good thing, given that the Seattle Supersonics are here, but I'm a Royal Thunder fan. And additionally, I have an 11-month-old daughter, Olivia, actually almost 12-month-old daughter, who is the cutest thing in the world, and I'm pretty biased. But you will more than likely see her head pop up in maybe some videos or lecture slide here and there, because she is pretty much the cutest thing alive. So that's a little bit about me. Let's talk about the course. So we're doing general psychology here. We're going to be learning about how we think, learning about our minds. Why do we do the things we do? How do we think? How do we feel? How do we behave? Trying to figure out and being able to predict why people think the way they do, why they feel the way they do, why they behave the way they do. We're going to be talking about all different aspects of psychology across the quarter. But specifically, in terms of goals for the course, get to the syllabus here. Basically, I want you to take away as much information, as much broad basic information about the major, about psychology as possible. We're going to be talking briefly about research methodologies used to examine different psychological phenomena. We're going to be talking about some different approaches to psychology, such as an evolutionary approach, a biological approach. We're going to understand some of the biological underpinnings of psychology, so what exactly is going on in the brain. We're going to be talking about how people experience the world, how people think about their worlds, how people develop a sense of identity or self, how people think about others in their environment. And towards the end of the semester, we will also talk about when the mind kind of goes astray, talking about mental or psychological disorders and some of the treatments or therapies that we might use to counteract some of these negative consequences of these disorders. So it's a broad kind of overview of some of the topics that we're going to be covering over the semester. In terms of the assignments for the course, we have a lot of things happening. This is I believe a 5-hour course, 4 hours for the class and 1 hour for the lab. Everything's going to be combined into one. We'll talk about the Canvas course in just a moment, but we're all going to focus on just one of the Canvas course. We're not going to use the lab Canvas course. So in terms of the assignments that you're required to complete for the class, there are 5 main sections for the course. First is the Researching and Applying Psychology section. For this section, you will either be participating in research experiments, either on campus or online through the SONA system here at Central Washington, or you will write a short paper basically applying some of the psychological phenomenon, topics, theories, etc. that we'll be talking about over the quarter to real world, real life situations, whether it be maybe a movie you saw, a TV show you're watching, some actual real world experience you had not too long ago, applying psychological phenomenon to real world situations. There's an information sheet on the Canvas sites that will give you a little bit more detail about that if you need further information. And that will be due at the end of the quarter. Second, we have the controversial issue discussions. These are going to be discussion board posts. These are going to be happening every week. At the beginning of every week on Monday, I will post a controversial issue or topic that you will then need to write about. And then you will also need to comment on another student's post. Do your best to try and think of unique things to say, meaningful things to say. It needs to kind of come out in your writing that you're actually putting forth genuine effort and thinking critically about the question. But these will happen every week. The questions will go up on Monday. They will be due by the end of the week on Friday at midnight. Third are the core topic quizzes. We will not be having major exams or a final exam. Instead, we will have quizzes at the end of every week, starting at week 2. These quizzes will be short. You will have 30 minutes to complete each of these. They will go up on Monday. They will close Friday at midnight. And they will cover the topic that we will be covering for that given week. Fourth, research article reviews. Each week you will be given 2 possible research articles to choose from. You will read one of them and then write a short summary on that article, and basically trying to apply it to your own life in some way, shape, or form. Try to think critically about it, give your opinions on the research. Basically a way of introducing you to psychological research. We're going to be talking about some of the results of research in class, but it's good to get a better understanding of the research process, especially by reading peer-reviewed scholarly journal articles. Again, these will be available to you Monday of each week, and they will be due at the end of Friday of each week. And lastly is the extension and application rationale. This is the primary paper that's going to be due at the end of the quarter. Again, there's going to be a little information sheet or overview of the assignment on Canvas, on the files, in the files section of Canvas. But basically you'll be, one, identifying a topic or a controversial issue that you find interesting, writing about it, applying it to your own life, talking about why this topic or this issue is important and needs future research that you might even conduct. And then you'll basically need to address this to your family or an important person in your life to try and explain to them why psychology is important, why this topic is important, and why your continuation in psychology, especially if you're a psychology major, why pursuing a career in psychology is an important endeavor, is a very important thing to do. So all these assignments, all the due dates, all the information on them are in the syllabus and on the Canvas site. Speaking of the syllabus is posted on the Canvas site under the file section. We have the syllabus, we have a tentative schedule of the chapter readings for each week and what assignments are due. And we have overviews of the first assignment I talked about, the researching and applying psychology, and an overview of the extension and application rationale. So that's the information that's on the Canvas site. All the assignments are there. Everything that you need should be on that site. Additionally, as I kind of hinted at before, I'll be attempting to post videos of the material, talking about different aspects of the material every week. I'll be posting lecture PowerPoint shows of the lecture material, of the material that we're going to be covering every week. And then you have your textbook right here. This is the textbook that you should have. The assigned reading chapters for each week. That will be another resource for you to learn the material in order to prepare for the quizzes that you will have each week. What else? If you have any accommodations or you are planning on missing any time, long periods of time due to anything that may happen, don't hesitate to email me, let me know. Grades will be posted on Canvas in the gradebook. The proportions of everything may not be correct. I'm still trying to work that out, but at the very least, you will get grades for each of your assignments. Be sure to familiarize yourself with the Canvas site as soon as you can. That way, if you have any questions about the site, or maybe I've messed something up and you need to let me know as soon as possible, you can send me an email and I can do my best to either answer your question or fix the error. And lastly, I'd appreciate it if all of you uploaded a photo to Canvas of yourself associated with your account. If you don't know how to do that, all you have to do is log on to Canvas, click on your name in the upper right-hand corner, and then there should be your basically profile or settings. Then click on, there should be a big circle right next to your name, click on that, and then you can upload a photo to your account. That way we can try and personalize this a little bit. Online courses are a little bit wonky, we can't actually see each other face to face, but if we have a photo next to the name, it might make these discussion boards a little bit more eventful and some of the other communications between us a little bit more personal. So thank you for your time and attention. I hope to make a lot of these videos as informative and helpful as I possibly can. Give a little bit of a personal taste to some of the material that we're going to be talking about over the course of the semester. So thanks again, and I will see you soon.